A lot of Kia Sportage vehicles in the fourth generation, 2015-2021, were equipped with the 1.6 GDI engine. This is 1.6 non-turbo direct injection petrol engine, and this engine is very popular with a lot of Kia and Hyundai vehicles. But for the Sportage fourth generation, it was one of the most common engines, and actually the engine is pretty good. It's good to drive. It's just 1.6. It's pretty small four-cylinder engine. It has a pretty good power for just 1.6 liters. It has pretty good torque. So this is direct injection efficient engine. It's very fuel efficient. The fuel consumption this car, I was pretty shocked after I drive Honda CR-V daily, and after I drove this car for several days, I was shocked with the consumption. I thought that something is wrong with the fuel gauge because it doesn't consume any fuel in my view. So okay, this engine is pretty good, but there are several problems that you need to know before you buy, or maybe if you own the Kia Sportage with this 1.6 GDI engine. And the first problem is that one of the biggest advantages of this engine, like GDI, for direct injection, it has a very big problem of carbon buildup. And if you drive mostly in the city, if you don't drive a lot on highways, it means that the engine will have this carbon buildup on intake valves. In these engines, the fuel is injected directly into the cylinders, not in the intake manifold, and as a result of this, the intake valves, they are not washed by fuel like in older engines, in port injection engines, and it means that over time this carbon buildup will gather on the intake valves and will contaminate these intake valves, and you will have a big problem with the valves, and the engine will become less and less efficient, and you will need to clean this somehow. And just using this old spray, $5 spray cleaning solutions, it's not a good idea in these engines. You will need professional cleaning once every 50,000 kilometers, 30,000 miles, in my opinion, if you mostly drive in the city. So this is the problem you should remember. Also, this engine will start consuming oil after about 60,000 miles, 100,000 kilometers. It will start consuming oil because of the piston rings that are pretty weak. So the piston rings in these engines are not extremely reliable, and they will start letting some oil into the combustion chamber after they reach about 100,000 kilometers. And this is a problem that you can't do anything with that, because replacing these piston rings, while they are cheap, replacing them is pretty expensive because of the labor costs, and it doesn't make much sense to invest that much in this engine. You will just keep adding oil actually and driving further. But the problem is that over time this affects your engine and contaminates the catalytic converter and a lot of other things. So this actually slowly kills the engine, but repairing it doesn't make sense. This is the problem, in my opinion, that shortens the lifespan of these engines. Also, one of the common problems with this engine is that the catalytic converter is placed very close to the engine, actually in the exhaust manifold. And if you use bad quality fuel, or if there is some problem with the injection system, with the combustion system, like your engine misfires, for example, and some raw fuel comes to your catalytic converter, this is a very, very big problem, because the catalytic converter will start falling apart, and these tiny ceramic particles will eventually be sucked into the engine, and they will start scratching the walls, the cylinder walls. And actually in this very car we had this problem at 50,000 kilometers, 30,000 miles. We had this problem because in my country the fuel quality is unpredictable, and if you buy fuel in a cheaper gas station, it's like a lottery. And so we bought fuel in a cheaper station, mainly because it's a business car. It's like we don't decide what kind of fuel we buy. And eventually we had this problem at 50,000 kilometers. Fortunately, the car was still under warranty, and under warranty they replaced the piston rings, and actually they dismantled all the engine. And of course they replaced the catalytic converter, which is not really cheap at all. So if it's not under warranty, you will pay a lot of money. And if you having this 1.6 GDI engine, you should watch the quality of the fuel that you buy very carefully. And one more problem is the chain. These are the engines with the timing chain, not the timing belt. And the manufacturer says that the chain is there for the entire lifespan of the engine. And there is some truth in this, because if the chain breaks, the lifespan of your engine is over. So of course you will want to pay attention to the health of this chain. And as far as I know, the chains in these engines, they don't survive up to 200,000 miles. They will start rattling at about 120,000 miles, 200,000 kilometers, and you will need to replace the chain kit actually. And it's not that cheap, but you better replace it and keep driving your car, because if the chain fails, the engine is dead. Overall, these are pretty good engines if you compare it with other engines of that price range. And they can survive till they reach 200,000 miles, 300,000 kilometers without any major problems, if you understand their common problems and do something to prevent them from happening.